What's up, Jet Nation? Happy off-season, everybody. We did it. We made it through the mundane portion of our lives, the regular season, and now we are getting to the exciting part, the off-season, the Jets' best time of year, the time that we have somewhat of a dynasty of off-season champions. This is the best part of year, my favorite time of year. I am down on Virginia Beach, right next to the statue of Neptune, very famous spot. You can see it. Where is it? Right there. There it is. That's the statue of Neptune. Real cool spot. You have the military bases here, and the jets fly by every 15 minutes or so. You hear the thunder of what the Jets' offense should be and struggle to be this past season. But I think we are on the precipice of some really exciting things. So let's talk about the top 5 items on the Jets' wish list for this offseason 1.0. Stick around, everybody. All right, now that we're all settled in here, your old pal Greenbean wants to get into the first wish list for this 2020 offseason. In my opinion, this would be probably the best way to attack free agency. This is going to be a little bit of a pre-draft wish list. So I'm not going to get into the draft picks and all that sort of stuff. The truth is that I'll probably make a following video that will have the draft picks that we should take if this wish list were to take place. And we'll see how this goes. The offseason, like I said, it's the best time of the year. This is a speculation central. That's what we're going to start calling this. So my first wish would have been Anthony Costanzo, but I really don't believe he's gonna make it through the season next year. And that one has sucker written all over it. We end up paying him $50 million with a whole bunch of guarantees, and then the first time he gets a stinger, he's gonna end up bailing. And with Joe Douglas's big round head, I can see an animation of a lollipop with the word sucker on it, like those old Looney Tunes commercials. I could see the back of the post all day long. That's what they're going to be doing. So we don't want to get into Anthony Costanzo. Great player. I'd love to have him, but in my opinion, not worth the risk. So wish number 1, the actual wish, is going to be signing or re-signing Kelvin Beachum and Alex Lewis. I'm going to stick them together because I look at it as the offensive line. That's how I'm trying to take care of this. So Alex Lewis, he's probably going to get, I don't know, I think we can get him for $4 or $5 million max for a 2-year contract. Let him know that we're investing in him, but we're not going to go ahead and pay him the big bucks yet. And for Kelvin Beachum, give him another 2-year contract and I think we can have Kelvin Beachum for $8 million, $6 to $8 million a year, I'd say. And I think that if we could do that, these are no-brainers. Even with the draft picks that we do take, if they should be offensive line, I think Alex Lewis should have every opportunity to fight for the starting spot, and Kelvin Beachum should be there while the new guy kind of cuts his teeth in the NFL, and we can groom him nice and slow and not throw him into the fire like we like to do. So wish list number 1, or just wish number 1, is signing Kelvin Beachum and Alex Lewis. Now, wish number 2 is it's offensive line, but I'm gonna come around the back door here. I don't hear many people talking about this guy, but this would be my number 1 offensive lineman from the free agent class, and that's Jack Conklin from the Tennessee Titans. Truth is, I'm going to be watching that game a little bit later, and I'm going to have my eye on him. I think he had a little nagging injury at the end of the year there, but he's supposed to be playing. But this guy, he played 100% of the snaps in all but 2 games this year. He's he had that injury back, I think it was 2017. He came back 2018 and had a little bit of a rough year, but was still solid, and he's been great this year. Right tackle, he can totally take care of that right side. He's one of the best in the league, in my opinion. And the way I see it is that this guy, he doesn't even get penalized that much. I think he had 6 penalties last year, 4 holdings and 2 false starts. The year before, interestingly enough, he had 2 unnecessary roughness penalties. And I got to tell you, I like it. That's the way I want my offensive lineman. I'll take a roughing penalty every now and then for them letting the defensive line know who's boss. I think it was actually against the Jets, too. That was the game where he made Leonard Williams cry. Remember that? No? Well, Maybe it wasn't it. Something like that happened. He did get a unnecessary roughness penalty against the Jets. So, like I said, I really like that. And Jack Conklin would be just an amazing get for the Jets offensive line. So we'd have Kelvin Beachum, Alex Lewis, Harrison. And then, well, that's going to be my next wish. My next wish is Joe Thuney from the Patriots. The truth is, again, I don't really like Patriots offensive linemen. I don't like taking them. They're cheaters. They're not used to being able to, they're not used to being called for holding when they leave New England. But this guy, he's pretty good. And I think he would be a really solid addition, replacing Brian Winters on the right side. So if we had, like I said, Beachum, Lewis, Harrison, Thuney, and Conklin, that's a good O-line right there. And then what we can do is draft a couple kids and let them sit behind, or even, like at the guard spots, especially Alex Lewis, let him go to battle, man. Let him go to battle for that position and see what happens. And then we can let those guys kind of phase in real nice, and we'll have a nice O-line for Sam Darnold's pretty much his whole career if we do this right. So that is the first three wishes. We have four really offensive linemen for this 2020 free agent season. So next, wish number 4 is you sign Robby Anderson. Have you guys looked at the wide receiver free agent class this year? It's like a wasteland. We have, there's the top guys. We have Amari Cooper. We have A.J. Green, who's, he's old. We have Emmanuel Sanders. He's old. And then we got Robby Anderson. Robby Anderson is, for all intents and purposes, the most dynamic wide receiver in this free agent class, and people are going to want him. You want to know why they're going to want him? Because he's worth wanting, and he's worth getting. Look, how can teams like Chicago, the Chicago Bears, pay Khalil Mack, and then without batting an eyelash, make Eddie Jackson the richest safety in the league? How can they do that? Nobody says anything, and we're always worried about paying this guy or that guy. Robby Anderson earned it, man. You pay him. You pay Robby Anderson, and you draft another wide receiver, and let those guys run around with Jamison Crowder and Berrios, and even Demaryius Thomas if he wants to stick around. And then we got a legitimate wide receiver core with a legitimate quarterback behind a legitimate offensive line. You don't let guys like Robby Anderson go. So wish number 4, sign Robby Anderson. Get it done. What does he need? $13 million, $12 million? What? You get it done. That's my opinion on Robby Anderson. You don't lose Robby Anderson for $1 million, $1.5 million. That's just stupid, in my opinion. So those are my first 4 wishes. The final wish, and this is going to be exciting if we were to pull this off. With Bless Austin back there, I'm okay with Bless Austin back there if he's not the most dynamic cornerback that we have. So who I want is James Bradberry from the Carolina Panthers. That's who I want. He's about to get paid, and Carolina's wanting to pay him. But we run down there and we steal him. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go down there and steal Bradberry and pair him with Bless Austin, and Jamal Adams, Marcus May, Brian Poole. Well, I guess Brian Poole would have to be wish number 6, 5A or 5B, however you want to see it. Brian Poole. So these are the 6 things, the 6-item wish list for this year. So like I said, you get Bradberry, you pair him with Bless Austin, and we have one of the best defensive backfields that we've seen in quite a long time. And behind when Mosley and Avery Williamson come back, this defense is looking pretty sick. We're not too many pieces away on defense. So with that offensive line, we got Kelvin Beachum, Alex Lewis, James Harrison, Thuney, and Conklin. And wide receivers, we got Robby Anderson, CeeDee Lamb maybe. It's one of those guys. We'll get to that later. Jamison Crowder and the rest. And then we got James Bradberry holding down the cornerback spot. If we were able to pull that free agent class together, I think we'd be well on our way. And Sam Darnold can actually thrive for once without running for his life. And the running backs can actually run through legitimate holes. Could you imagine if our running backs had a hole to run through? So there you have it. That's my opinion. That's how I see it. And this will probably change. You know how the the offseason goes, combine and everything else, and who's going to sign who and all that. But this was my 1A wish list. This is I've done a lot, I've given it a lot of thought. These are the guys I want more than anybody else. That's the class I want. And then we can work on some depth guys and all that sort of stuff. We can find the money. Get rid of Winters, get rid of Khalil, all that. There's money all over the place. If we cut Tremaine Johnson, even with his dead money, we still gain like $6 million or something like that. We're going to be fine. Let Joe Douglas worry about the money. We're going to be fine. So we're talking about it at jetnation.com. Click on forums. You'll see us all on there. And we're arguing about it. This is going to be argued till draft day or till the free agent period starts. So get in on the on the fun, on the excitement. On jetnation.com, Greenbean signing out.